Welcome to the Nonprofit Exchange Podcast. Stories by leaders for leaders to help you raise the bar on your own excellence, to release the potential inside of you. Now, here's today's podcast. Welcome to the Nonprofit Exchange. This is a weekly interview program. Today, we're interviewing ourselves. We have three of us, the core team, and one to join in process. We're going to share with you what's going on in the community for community builders. It's an online community, and the folks involved are the ones that actually make it happen. And let me introduce the players here. Sandy Berkemeyer has been working with me in SynerVision for 12 years, editing and rewriting and sequencing, lots of things. She does posting on the community. She'll tell you more about that. And she lives in Pilot, Virginia, out in the country, and not too close, not too far from Lynchburg, Virginia, where I live. And coming in from Dallas, Texas is Amit Banerjee. He's spending 8 weeks plus as intern and working with some specific things on the community. But I want to give you an overview. After working with nonprofit leaders for 32 years, I started noticing that there's some common things that people need, common challenges that people have. And one of them is, and I guess if you're a nonprofit leader, which would be board chair, executive director, president, somebody that's in a key leadership position with a cause-based charity or a membership organization like a Chamber of Commerce, Community Foundation, United Way, or an educator, or if you're clergy, leading a congregation, a judicatory, synagogue, something like that, then right now you've got some really tough work to do, because it's a world where we can't really know what kind of decisions we ought to be making. So the SynerVision community is here to help you feel like you're not alone. Many times I find people feel like, I'm doing this all alone. Who do I talk to? Well, this is a peer-to-peer network where you can participate in forums. There's a live session every week where we share questions and see who can answer the questions. It's a facilitated mastermind Q&A session. In the community, we have articles. We have lots of learning opportunities for you. The principal thing people say is they want a community where they can connect with like-minded people doing the same kind of work. And instead of creating like this little thing on Facebook, we've created a community that's got all of the content that's special for us, that's privileged for members, and it's a safe space. There's lots of harsh things happening on the social media platforms. And there's lots of people selling things. So we thought we'd create a community that's just for you, nonprofit leaders, clergy, just for people who are in social benefit work, what we call a for-purpose organization. It's not a for-profit, although we need to watch the profit, keep the money coming so we can do the work that fulfills the vision and mission of our organization. It's important that we learn strong business principles, that we can build out our teams, build out our programs, and impact the lives of more people that need it more now than ever before in history. So what we're going to do today is take you on a little journey and then talk about some of the things that we're launching that would engage you. And some of these are available to you without membership. But we hope that you see enough value that you'd want to join as a member and unlock more benefits, more value, more conversations for you. So if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry you can't see that. But I'm just gotta, so I want to show you that you can't see it on a podcast, but you can go to the Nonprofit Exchange, nonprofitexchange.org, takes you to a landing page where you see the current episode and the past episode. And at the bottom of the page, there's a ribbon you can click that you can see all the past videos. So I will take you on a little tour. You'll be able to see this video if you click on that. So here we are at the home page. And so this is what it looks like when you get here, a bunch of friendly people and working together. And you can click on here for membership. And right now we're offering for $1. You can get all the benefits of the community. And when you go there, it tells you what the benefits and the features are. There's a lot of free stuff that's worth more than the $1 substantially, maybe 150 times more. Free resources that we have, learning opportunities. And then down here we have the magazine, which Sandy was on the ground floor of starting. And we've been publishing a magazine. Sandy, tell us a little bit about the magazine and how long has it been in, how long have we been publishing?
We started publishing in late 2014. We publish several times a year, so we have put out 13 issues thus far. We are currently working on an issue on founding new organizations. We have upcoming issues planned on philanthropy, embracing technology, and NGOs and collaboration. We have worked on an issue with discussing public-private partnerships, branding, social media, how to put together a board of trustees. We had a special legacy issue. We've done an issue on transitions. We've done an issue on sustainability, because if your organization doesn't keep going, there's nothing left. So we have done a number of different sorts of things over the years.
So we have regular recurring columns every time. And you want to run down what those are? I'm showing them on the screen, but just kind of give us a little context for these. And we try to have some basic content by different, or some same authors, but different authors around these pillars. And then we have some other features every time. And like you say, we do have a theme, and we're working on the issue right now from the release, and then working with our new advisor, Bob Hopkins, author of Philanthropy Misunderstood and former publisher of Philanthropy Today magazine, to think about including philanthropy in some future issues. So talk about the recurring topics that we cover.
We don't always have an article on this specific topic, but most of the issues do have these various recurring topics. So we have a featured personality every month. We have a member engagement department, a design corner department, which is basically looking at the visual aspects of your organization, what you look like in terms of logo and things like that, your website. We often have a department that we call Nonprofits That Work, where we are featuring a specific nonprofit and how they have managed to get themselves going and keep themselves going. We have a department on board relations. We have a strategy. We have an executive office, an academic desk, which is normally someone in academia who is discussing the theory behind how to operate a nonprofit organization, a for-purpose organization. We have a department on stewardship, one on team building, and one on the clergy view, because we may not always think about it, but churches and synagogues and mosques are all nonprofit organizations as well. And those folks are going through the same things that all the rest of us are.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we try to have some regular content, and we don't recurring content on those topics. We don't always have everything covered, but most of the time we do, and we rotate authors a lot. If you look here, you'll see the covers of the issues, and so we just click on one of the issues, and it opens in a new screen, and then you can actually view view the magazine online. I'm trying to get the window out of the way because I see the presenter. So you can look at it inside, and it's got the paper turning. And so there's people here. We very carefully screen the people. These are not advertorials. These are people. Oh, look at that. There's my wife. These are people who've been there, done it, done some important things, and want to share what they've learned and the wisdom of how they got there. So it's really important people. So you can, whether you're a member of the community or not, you can come and look at the magazine. So here, let's go. So the other things, I'm going to go back to the home page where I started. And so we have, come on. Yeah, so you just click around here. There's a lot of things that are summarized on the home page. But when you join the community, here's webinars. If you remember the community, you get to view the webinars, which are originally offered for free, but they're pretty heavy content. So they are locked up for you. We have special summits and symposiums. We did a symposium that was virtual May 1st. Before that, we'd done 26 symposiums around the country and had a variety of people. We have learning opportunities, and I'll talk about those in a minute. But if you look up here under learning opportunities, we have something called a forum. And a forum is something we've had here, and we've not really had a chance to get it going so far. So we're getting it going now. So right now, I'm going to release the screen here, and I'm going to call on Amit Banerjee, who is working with us this summer. And he's a senior at SMU and very seriously interested in growing his leadership skills. He's already way ahead of the curve, I will say. And maturity, very, very much more than his contiguous years in this life. And he's interested in nonprofits specifically and does work with some, and was one of the leaders in the event that we did with Bob Hopkins and others, the Youth Philanthropy Conference last in June, and is CEO of Philanthropy Kids. So Amit, tell us about the project that you're working on for SynerVision, and if you want to share the screen, you can walk us through how to do it. We want to get people's opinion. That's the bottom line, isn't it, Amit?
Yeah. So thank you, Hugh. We believe that, as you mentioned earlier, like it feels really, you feel really alone with the virus. You feel like, as a nonprofit leader, you feel like you are, the only one with your organization's mission trying to navigate these, uncertain waters. And so, one of the things that we hope to achieve with this forum is a sense of community to where you can, you realize that there are other nonprofit leaders who are facing almost identical challenges or going through similar, thought processes as they try to, navigate through this COVID-19 situation and navigate their nonprofit through, more normal circumstances. And so in our forum, we have a series called Collective Considerations, and we've launched a couple on the website, and I'll start sharing those in a second. But the idea is, for the first couple of weeks, everything's going to be free and public, and it's going to be an opportunity to bring in nonprofit leaders from all over the globe and all over the country to come in and contribute to this conversation. And we have things that are related to the coronavirus outbreak. We have things related to and unrelated to the coronavirus outbreak. So things like donor engagement and fundraising and hiring talent, things that are relevant to nonprofit organizations and especially nonprofit leaders year round, whether or not we're in a lockdown situation. So I'll go ahead and kind of show how this works and how you can navigate the web page at SynerVisionLeadership.org. So I've outlined it in a couple of steps. The first is to go to SynerVisionLeadership.org/forum. Now, Hugh just showed a couple of different ways you can navigate to the site through the website, but or to the page through the website. But if you want to get there directly, there is a specific link that works.
Amit, since we talked, I put a link under learning. I put a link at the very bottom of the page. There's a link to the forum too.
Yeah. So I've shared my screen for those of you who can see. At the top, there's learning opportunities, and the last option on this menu is forum. You can click on that and it'll take you to the page with all of the live discussions. Another option is to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, whichever page you're on SynerVision Leadership. In the footer, one of the live links is forum, and that would take you to this page as well. So once you're here, you can see there's a couple of different forums that we have that are live. The ones specifically that are part of this new series are titled Collective Considerations. And again, it goes back to the idea that we're trying to build a camaraderie between nonprofit leaders. We're trying to build a community of nonprofit leaders who are working together to share each other's perspective. And so the way this will work, it'll give you a little bit of a explanation underneath. So the one that I'm looking at right now is collective considerations. Where does the nonprofit sector have room to grow? As more and more needs arise in communities around the globe, we see existing nonprofits expanding the services they provide, and new nonprofits emerge if there are no organizations currently fulfilling those needs. However, there are many charities, foundations, and membership organizations that aren't realizing where they can grow and expand. Based on your experiences, how do you see the nonprofit sector growing in years to come? What are the needs that nonprofits are failing to address now? And what can nonprofits do to be proactive instead of reactive when it comes to community needs? So that's the baseline of where that question is coming from. This is a question that, nonprofit leaders are constantly being faced with, because there are times when they are successful with their mission and they, solve the issue that they originally set out to fix, or they realize that they need some kind of new approach to solving an existing problem. So in this case, if I want to participate in this forum, I click on the title and it'll take me to the specific page for that discussion. And in that discussion, you'll see topics at the top. Now, these are conversations that have been started by other people. So they were answering the original question, where does the nonprofit sector have room to grow? And they answered it. So when you arrive at this page, you have two options. One is you can look at one of these existing topics. And so if you're following the video, you'll see that I'm clicking one of the topics. And then it'll show you the conversation with the original post, as well as all the replies. And you're able to directly reply to that thread. The other option you have when you're at that forum page is, or when you're within the specific discussion board, you can create a new topic. So if you have a specific answer to that question, you can go ahead and fill out this form at the bottom, and it'll post it as one of the live responses. So that way you can, and you can do both. You can participate in other people's conversations. You can start your own conversation. And the idea is we want to get people sharing their opinions, talking about, oh, I have an idea about what the nonprofit sector needs. I have an idea on how to engage donors. I have an idea on how to invigorate board members. I have an idea on how to hire new talent. So we all have different ideas. And when talking about conversations and bringing in diverse backgrounds, I always think of Tina Fey, former head writer of Saturday Night Live. She, in an interview with David Letterman, was sharing that when she was the first woman head writer. And before then, there weren't many women in the writer's room, if at all. And she said that there were a lot of jokes that she wrote that were funny for all audiences. And then there were jokes that were funny for specific audiences, particularly women. And those were audiences and jokes that were not written before because it was written by, it was a predominantly male dominated room. And so it was interesting that so one of her things was to bring in people with different senses of humor, different backgrounds, different experiences. So that way, when they're creating the Saturday Night Live show, they have different answers and different solutions for different kinds of audiences that find different things funny. And so we want to kind of reflect that here. Obviously, we're not trying to make a sketch comedy show on SynerVisionLeadership.org, but we want to make sure that people are able to share their opinion and see a variety of responses to the same question. So that's a little bit about how it'll work. We are also going to be cross-posting a lot of these conversations to LinkedIn. So if you follow the SynerVision Leadership Foundation page on LinkedIn, you should be seeing these conversations on that site as well. And our goal is to have people start that conversation on LinkedIn and eventually bring it to the community on the SynerVisionLeadership.org website. So that's the basic rundown of how the forum works, the goal of it, and how you can participate.
Go back to the landing page for the forum, all of them. So you can either go to the bottom of any of the pages, and there's a forum link down there, or you can pull down the learning opportunities. We put it there because we share with each other and we solve problems on the forum. So it is in any sense, I think, sorry, I've got a little throat thing, learning opportunity. And one of the reasons I think it's so important that we have a community, and that's one of the conversations that we're talking about on this thread, is why do we have a community? Why should we belong? And I've talked a little bit about it and why it's important. So Amit, show us the forums. We're gonna push one at a time, but certainly people can speak to any of these issues if they want to. So if we, so go back to the one you were in, collective considerations. What does the nonprofit sector, how does it, where does it have room to grow? Suppose I had a question or a topic I wanted to start. So post one there, like if I want to start a new topic. So show us how to do that.
So I'll just use my name and my email credentials, and Hugh, give me an answer to put to this question.
You want a new topic?
Yeah. So I pressed on the form that I want to participate in. Where does the nonprofit sector have room to grow? Now I see the other people's topics that have already been submitted. Now I could contribute to them, but I think I want to share my idea first. Let me throw my opinion out there. So I can put my name, Amit Banerjee. I'll put my email. And this is, and when you put your email, it will show you when people are responding to your posts. And so it's a really cool way to see how people are, agreeing with you and disagreeing with you, and kind of really getting to the meat of the conversation.
So let's do the topic, how do I grow as a leader in order to help my organization to grow? Or the topic, would be how, or just growing my skills. So that's a topic. It's near and dear to our heart at SynerVision. We have Russell David Dennis has joined us from Mile High, Denver, Colorado. Russell's been co-host of the show. He's on special assignment right now, working on some advanced things. So Russell, welcome to the show today.
Greetings, young Hugh, and greetings everybody, all of my friends out there. And it's a pleasure to be back. I really miss my Tuesdays here on the Nonprofit Exchange, but I'm always interested in what we're doing and making the forum useful to all of our listeners out there is very important. And it's an area where we've got a chance to engage. So it's really critical to start conversations here where we can share our insights with one another. And this is a good bridge over from LinkedIn, which is a wonderful platform. It's a good bridge to have those direct conversations and to get those direct questions that you might have answered.
So, Russell, let's fill in this. Why don't you help us here? So, we're talking about how does my growth affect the organization's growth? So, why don't you give Amit some ideas to put in here? Let's elaborate on this title. You know, we're asking people to weigh in on some things. We're starting this discussion. So what do you think? Where do we start? How do we ask people where I need to grow? What are your ideas, Russ?
Well, yeah, we talk to people who are around us. We have accountability partners. Do I have an accountability partner? Somebody who I can go down the rabbit hole with, so to speak, because maybe I'm working with some other leaders and we've got questions on, let's take a topic like grant writing, for instance, and what that process looks like, how to seek out grants. And I've had some friends from different nonprofits approach me, especially since this whole outbreak of COVID, and ask me questions about how they can keep in touch with their donors or how they can write grants. So I think shared learning objectives is one of the places to grow. In order to be an effective leader, you got to be teachable. And if you seem to have some dead time, grow your skills. Look at some things that you haven't looked at before. One of the things that COVID has presented us an opportunity with is to do things a lot differently than we have. And, you know, Hugh and I, we've been using this platform, Zoom, for quite a long time, but there was a lot of resistance by people in my age group to use Zoom. And that has started to evaporate out of necessity. So what kind of things can we do differently? It may be video conferencing. It may be making use of social media to reach your audience, making use of live video, which my pastor was resistant to. So start embracing other ways to connect with people. And that would involve learning how to use these things.
So Russell is like a brother to me. Can you see the family resemblance here? Except I got more hair.
Yeah, I have to keep it short so nobody gets confused.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So Amit, just putting in some summary things here to kind of, we want to prompt some conversation. So if you're thinking about some of these topics, come in here, jump in the conversation with us, because this is people who aren't going to threaten you. People aren't going to insult you. We're going to moderate these conversations. And so there's a lot of people that are anxious and are saying things that they really shouldn't be saying in some of the forums. So if you're tired of all of that, come here. Let's have some. We're restoring what we're calling meaningful dialogue about things that matter, and you know it's become a lost art. So Amit, you put in some things here, and it looks like you like it, and so we got an underline contribute. You got an extra T in contribute there. It's highlighting it so that, yeah, oh, look at there. You got that too. All right, so we're good.
Yeah, we've got a question from Robert Hopkins.
Yeah, Robert, what you got? We'll let him ask it in okay, where is he? Can you see my question? Yes, I see. You can hear me. Bob, if you have a question, I'll bring you in to ask it if you want to ask a question. You can hear me. You know, so anyway, so Amit, tell us how you're going to launch it from here.
So we're gonna send out an email to people in the community, as well as in our networks, to be active on the forums on the page. We're also gonna, as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna cross-post these to LinkedIn to kind of expand it to an audience. But we want to encourage people to bring the conversation back to the site, because while I love LinkedIn and it is a really good platform to reach new people, there are a lot of times when there are people who are not the right demographic who might be interacting with the thing. And so this is a conversation primarily for nonprofit leaders. And so you might have a lot of people who might be able to answer the question, but it's not in the context and the focused perspective that we want. And so I know we mentioned we want like diverse takes, but we still want to make sure that it's relevant to everyone in the community. And so we want to make sure that the people coming in and participating on LinkedIn are able to add value to the conversation, and then we'll bring them to the site at SynerVision Leadership, the forums here, and encourage them to keep get the conversation going in this community.
So you can look for us on LinkedIn, SynerVision Leadership Foundation. If you search for that, that'll take you to the SynerVision Leadership Foundation page. And we talk about the topic there, but please don't do comments there. Come click on the link there, come to the site. So we have the whole thread of communications here. So Amit, why did we choose LinkedIn over some of the other platforms?
Well, LinkedIn has the best out-of-network reach. So if you post on Facebook, for example, it's really difficult for people who haven't actively, liked the page, or if they're not your friends, so when you share it, they're not going to see the post as easily. On Instagram, it's not a very conducive environment for conversation. It's really just pictures and simple comments. Twitter, it's really easy to get lost in the combination of political rants and memes and all kinds of different things happening on that platform. And we were worried that either the conversation is going to get lost, or it'll be hijacked by people that kind of want to push their own agendas. And so we thought LinkedIn was great because it's a professional environment. We can really target it to nonprofit leaders and people active in the nonprofit community, but it also gives us that opportunity to expand beyond our individual networks and bring in people who we otherwise wouldn't have been able to contact.
So Russell, you want to speak to that social media, because you got a strong presence on LinkedIn, don't you?
I have LinkedIn as my largest audience, but I have audiences on Facebook, and I have a presence on all of the platforms. LinkedIn is the one I use most, but I have a presence on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, believe it or not. I don't know how to use Snapchat very well, but I do have a presence there. So, and social media is very effective. It's a way that people engage, and you can target your audiences there. And different platforms have different strengths and different people that come to them. Some of the questions that Robert had, he asked, who's the perfect person to get involved in the SynerVision community? And that would be any nonprofit leader, somebody who is interested in philanthropy or just wants to be a part of philanthropy. If you're out there doing things to make other people's lives better, you're a leader, whether you have a title or not. And so anyone that has an interest in making their community better is welcome here, who has ideas that can help us solve some of these social problems, that has ideas that can help nonprofits in their area get better. And so a lot of ideas, good ideas, come from everywhere. And so it helps to ask questions and have a dialogue. And the more of us that are in that conversation, gets back to one of my buddy Hugh's favorite sayings: none of us is as smart as all of us.
That's a southern thing. We have our own language and our own grammar rules. So Amit, you should be impressed that us old guys are on all this technology. Old guys rock. So the other question was,
the internet was made like 70 years ago. So
I got to get up early, get ahead of this guy. And so the other thing is the cost of this. The forums are open to the members of the community. We're offering, if you go to nonprofitcommunity.org, it'll take you to the membership page. And we're offering a $1 trial right now. You get all the benefits of the community for $1, and you get about $150 worth of free stuff when you join, including my program, The 5 Pillars of Success. And then you'll get discounts on any of the self-study programs. But the forums are private for community members, but we're opening up forums one at a time to be public for anybody. So we're opening it up because we want people to see the value of the community. So you don't have to join the community. You don't have to pay any money. We want your opinion. So if you go to SynerVisionLeadership.org, and then the bottom of the page is forums. SynerVision is a contraction of the words synergy and vision without the G. Why? SynerVision Leadership Foundation. So it's SynerVisionLeadership.org, just the SynerVision and leadership part of that. And the community provides a lot of stuff. If you want to find this show, you can go to the Nonprofit Exchange, THE, nonprofitexchange.org. It takes you to the page for this show and the past shows. But at the bottom of that page, or in the menu at the top under Learning Opportunities, you can scroll down and get the forum. And so, Russell, your background was fundraising for 11 years, and you've had an illustrious career with some important jobs. But that was one out of an Indian reservation where you had the primary responsibility for raising funds. So, how would your other colleagues in fundraising seats and in organizations, would they be people who should be participants in this as well?
I would think that anybody that's raising funds for any organization or is providing funds for organizations would be great here, because you could understand some of the challenges and meet some of the challenges. Also find some organizations that you may not know about who are in alignment with you, that you would like to know more about and could perhaps provide some sort of funding or expertise too. So it's by having these conversations. Here's the thing that a lot of people overlook. I've done some things, and a lot of my work is toward funding profit-making businesses. And you've got two sides to that coin. And I've got to tell you, from my experience, it's just as hard, and it can be sometimes even more difficult to actually give that money away than it is to get it, because you're looking for a certain synergy. You're looking for somebody that has the types of ingredients that are going to make a project successful, whether it's community-based or for profit. It's very tough to marry the money. So this is a place where you can talk about those things that are important to you. And as part of that learning process, it's important to learn what matters to funders, as it is for funders to understand what it is that people that are seeking funds need. It's a partnership, it's a marriage, and the union of the two is designed to create a profit, as it were, social profit, economic profit, and to make an impact in the community on some level. So this is an ongoing conversation, especially now. The calculus looks a little bit different in these times where we've seen a major shift. So it's never been more important for business, government, and individuals to work together to try to make things work for us as a country. And you know, the world is shrinking every day. So a lot of what we're looking at is global. And when we say we're all in this together, it's not necessarily a thing that's just right in our neighborhood. This has really become a global situation. And so it takes the best minds of business, nonprofit, and government, and individuals together to make the world a better place. And so SynerVision Leadership Foundation Forum, this is a good place to have that conversation, whatever you're doing.
It's more important now than ever before that we step up our game. And there's a lot of us that started something and we didn't know what we were doing. And so it's important to continue growing our skills, because nothing happens without leadership. And as John Maxwell talks about in his 17 irrefutable laws of leadership, there's the law of the lid. You know, your organization cannot develop any further than your ability to lead that organization. So we have self-study programs, and we have a certification program as well. So a leader can go through the program and be certified. And so, Russell, you went through that program. Amit is just kind of getting his toe wet in the water, but you went through one of the learning programs, and then you've become a wayfinder, certified wayfinder. So you teach the stuff. So how did that help you raise the bar on your own performance and your own building of your own enterprise as you went through that process?
Well, Transformational Leadership Accelerator gave me some tools to use in both my personal and my business life. Transformational leadership starts with me. If I can't manage me and lead myself, I'm certainly not going to lead other people. But really, it talks about the strength of learning, self-improvement, and how you manage your relationships, particularly business relationships, relationships with your staff, because everything hinges on relationships and how effectively you manage those. And the Transformational Leadership Accelerator pushes you to get better and to look at all of these different things and to look at how you relate to people. And one of the most important skills a leader can have is that ability to set the vision and to develop trust and cultivate the best in other people. You know, the most phenomenal leaders of our times are people who make better leaders of the people around them. So if you want to be an effective leader, you build leaders, you build a team of leaders so that what you have in your organization, from top to bottom, are leaders.
I'm just grinning. Hey, I miss you, brother. So the wisdom that comes out of the mouth of Russell David Dennis is just, it's great every time I hear. I like to say I pale in comparison.
Yes, and I have to say there's not enough sunscreen for you to catch up.
That's right. So you just, everybody in this call is way smarter than me. So the example is hang around people smarter than you with gifts better than what you have. So our sponsor for the nonprofit exchange for SynerVision is Easy Card. You can have a virtual card, and all of your supporters, your team members, your volunteers, your board can have this in their hand. So if you're looking at it on the screen, if you want to go to the website, you can see it. But Easy Card, if you want to get the SynerVision Easy Card, then write this down. You're going to send a text to this number, 64600. 64600. You're going to send a text to that number, and the message of the text will be the three letters LDR. So send LDR to 64600, and you'll get an answer back with a hot link, a blue link, and you click on the blue link, and voila, you've got SynerVision Leadership Foundation in the palm of your hand. And so you can see about joining the community by clicking on that tab. You can see the magazine on that tab, and you can even read it on your phone. And then the nonprofit exchange videos, here we go. Here's today, SynerVision Community Update, and you click on that, it takes you to the page. You can see the videos. Last week it was Paper for Water, astounding story. So Easy Card, and at the bottom it says, get your own Easy Card. So Lynchburg Symphony has one. I needed to talk about a live streaming performance we did. We sent out a text because people subscribe with their text, their phone number. We sent them text, and we couldn't do outside performance as we did a virtual streaming performance, and we had 6,000 people watch our performance. So people want to stay in touch, and the text cuts through the noise. So let's do the round robin as we wrap up here. Sandy, you've been helping us for a long time, helping old Hugh out. You have sympathy for your elders, but you're very good at editing, and you can even fix things and stay in my voice. So what invitation would you like to extend to people? You're very faithful in posting these great articles and sharing it on social media. So why do you think people should come and even look at any of the stuff we have? What would you say to them?
I think that everybody, if you only have a few minutes to look at things on the website, go to the blog posts. If you go to the homepage at SynerVisionLeadership.org and go up to free resources at the top, the first item is blog, and that will give you, at this moment, 112 blog posts. There's a new one that goes up. It's generally up by Tuesday morning each week. And a lot of them are articles from the magazine that have just been repurposed. And we make sure that all of our magazine articles are actionable things. They're not just stray thoughts. They are, this is what you can do to work things better with your organization. In addition, we have other blog posts. We had a recent guest post from Tasha Anderson called Nonprofits and Forgivable Loans, talking about how to use the CARES Act to be able to get the forgivable loans in order to keep your organization going during the COVID crisis. The week before that, we had one that had actually been in one of our issues of the magazine from Bob Vandepol called When the Unthinkable Happens, Crisis Response. And that fit in very well with how to deal with the coronavirus crisis. So take a look at those. We've got 112 of them up right now, and they're quick reads. And so you can just go there and learn incredible things very rapidly.
Thank you. So Amit, why should people come?
People should come to SynerVisionLeadership.org just to kind of check out all the different resources and like valuable opportunities that are available for people in the nonprofit sector. Honestly, whether they're leadership or not, even if they're just a active volunteer who wants to be even more active, they can learn about what it takes to really create a robust organization and keep a ship on its course. And so just at a baseline, that's why people should come. But obviously I have a vested interest in people participating in the forum. So it'd be a really neat way for people active in the nonprofit community to hear from each other and share their opinions with each other. I know people I like to talk, and I like to let people know what I think. And I think there are a lot of people who feel similar ways and have a lot of opinions that they want to share, and a lot of advice. A lot of times there are people who know that there's something I did that I can, if I can help someone else out using my experiences, I'm happy to do that, and I'm eager to do that. And this community allows for that kind of conversation.
Love it. And the affirmations too. I think we affirm each other in ways that really matter. Russell, you got the last word here.
Well, it's always important to let other people know what it is you're doing. There's so many great organizations out there that nobody knows about. Who are people that we should be talking about? Who are people that are doing great work that the general public should know about? And this is a place to do that. So it's about exchange of ideas. It's about telling people who's out there talking about what you do, and maybe even talking about doing some things together. Because, you know, collaboration is power. You know, 1 + 1 = 3 when you're collaborating in the same space. So this is a great place to be. It's a great community. I'll be here ducking in and out, some days more frequently than others, but this is a great space to connect with others, with like-minded people, and just make sure that if Sandy asks you for an article, you're on time. She keeps us organized.
Yeah. All righty. So this is the team that makes it happen behind the scenes. Just thought we'd bring us together today and share with you. There's a lot that's there, so take advantage of it. Take advantage of what's free. Come and join us. Part of what you pay supports the work of the charity, SynerVision Leadership Foundation. And every dollar goes to multiple organizations and the benefits that we share with others. So thank you for considering it. Get your own Easy Card. 64600 is the number. The letters, the message is LDR. And then you can look at having one to stay in touch with your donors, your board, your volunteers, and you can update them, and it's in the palm of their hand. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the Nonprofit Exchange. Russell, we're 6.5 years into this, so we have quite a few episodes that are really important. So please visit the community. Let us know what you think in the forums and share it with other people, because the more of us, the better. So thank you for being here today, and let's end this version of the Nonprofit Exchange. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for having us.